Misa Misa is #1 in 18 Magazine's reader popularity poll. What was that?
Matsuda's acting stupid again.
That is his specialty.
This is specialty.
I can hear you, you know.
Hello, it's Venus Brown. I'm back with another episode of Death Note. This is episode 18 called Ally. And this time I'm going to read the description. I went ahead and read the other description for the other one. I am glad that I skipped it until after I watched the episode, because I do think it gave some spoilers I probably would have preferred to be left out, and it didn't spoil whether they were going to be alive or not, but it still provided some spoilers. So I'm glad I left that out. But the description for this one says, though L is still suspicious, Light and Misa, their memories of being Kira wiped clean, return to headquarters. ... And that pretty much says what it sounds like we had already verified at the end of the last episode. And the title Ally, who's going to be ally to who? I don't know. I am hoping that we get more information about this other group of people that seem to be feeding this new Kira, who's temporarily being Kira or whatever. I would like more information on that. And more acknowledgement from the main group of investigators that these other killings are going on, even if they don't say anything to the actual Kira. Alright, let's start the episode.
Well, looks like this system is going to take some getting used to.
How's this, huh?
Oh, this? I had a little fight with my wife, and daughter's still young, and I'm hardly ever at home.
Ah, yes. It's probably best if you sleep at home.
The rooms in this place are amazing. I just moved the whole family in here.
It's easy for you to say as a bachelor. Where are they?
Oh, they're on a date.
Are you gonna eat that piece of cake?
Cake makes you fat. I'm not gonna eat any.
I disagree with this comment. It can make you fat if you eat a lot of it. I am obviously not thin, but you can still eat moderate amounts of cake every now and then and not get fat.
Last chance for cake.
I mean, L is obviously not fat. Maybe he's got a decent metabolism.
You don't seem all that motivated to me.
You're right. I'm depressed. I guess I just can't get past the fact that my deduction was wrong. I'm still suspicious of you. If I assume both you and Misa were being controlled by him, everything we've observed so far makes a lot more sense to me. I don't think I could have been wrong about that. The two of you are Kira. When your confinement began, you were Kira. But after 2 weeks, criminals actually began dying again. Based on that, I can only conclude Kira's power passes between people.
If it's true, it'll be nearly impossible for us to catch Kira.
That's why I'm overwhelmed.
And food is definitely a coping mechanism for things like depression.
Yeah, but I mean, he always ate sugars.
That's true. I just know that as that being an issue myself, when I am depressed, I am more likely to eat more junky foods than I would when I'm not.
Yeah, one of the live-action movies tried to give a scientific reason why he eats sugars and stuff, but that's not actually why. He just likes sweets.
Mm-hmm. And if he does have a fast metabolism, sugar is a kind of quick source of energy. So even if he really likes them, it can also still help provide that quick source of energy.
If you were just gonna give up, then why did you involve all those innocent people?
I understand. Still, whatever the reason.
Right.
It's not my deduction that was wrong. Light Yagami is Kira, and Misa Amane is the second Kira. That it won't be enough. Is that so unreasonable?
You should hear yourself. It's as if you won't be satisfied unless I am.
No, it's not unreasonable. I think everything he said makes perfect sense to me.
Right. I think I wanted you to be Kira.
And I know I'm laughing at all the violence. I don't condone it.
I'm a lot stronger than I look, you know.
This show seems to take place with certain premises that certain things are acceptable that are not really considered acceptable, at least in this area of the world.
Misa Misa is #1 in 18 Magazine's reader popularity poll. What was that?
Matsuda's acting stupid again.
That is a specialty.
This is special.
I can hear you, you know. Based on this, I can only conclude that Kira is supporting Yotsuba.
It could be.
Oh yeah, this is another thing I was thinking about the other group, is that maybe because they're different kinds of deaths that the detectives are not targeting it, they're not realizing it. Like it's not showing up on their radar because they're not thinking of it the same.
Politician. So that's that. The police caved in to him. Aizawa, Matsuda, if you wish to continue working this case, you'll have to hand in your letter of resignation to the MPA, just as Mogi and I are going to. You cannot pursue Kira as a member of the police force anymore. Work with L, you'll be fired.
So what organization is L working under?
Himself? I don't know.
Think it over carefully.
Especially if you've got a family to support.
You'd be better off as police officers. Well, I'm grateful to all of you for staying. I'll be sure to visit you at the department and bring you Kira's head as a reward. I think the rest of you should remain as police officers.
When you first contacted us, you said that you would need the help of the police.
They weren't bowing to him. They don't want to catch Kira, so let's just leave it at that.
All of us have risked our lives to catch Kira. Doesn't that give us the right to decide whether we stay here or return?
Good point. And by all means.
Yay for autonomy.
What are you gonna do after that?
I'll have to dust off my resume.
I'm gonna quit the police and chase Kira too.
I mean, y'all could also empower your wives and say, hey, wifey, I might not have a job. Maybe we could help you find some kind of line of work that works well for your skills and experience as a housewife.
If you remain a police officer, then please don't come back here.
You know I won't leak any information.
I won't be sharing any of our information. You're free to pursue Kira on your own if you want. I don't think it's fair to your families to burden them by giving up your livelihood.
We all understand why you've got to do this.
But the chief has a family too.
Our situations are completely different.
Yeah, everybody has their own family, their own life, and their own ways of dealing with the shit that happens. You're not always gonna make the same decision for the same experience or circumstance.
I became a detective so I could catch the bad guys, not run away!
Then don't run away.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure he has to stay with the police to have a job.
Early on in the investigation,
And he can't afford to not have a job.
A trust was set aside.
So then don't run away. Work with the police force. You just might not be able to work on the Kira case.
Yeah, he was saying that he doesn't want to run away from the Kira case.
Curious as to why you're withholding this information.
You could always try to keep your job with the police force.
There you go,
and
Aizawa. Isn't that great news?
behind closed doors,
Ryuzaki.
try to figure things out.
I assume that was some kind of test.
Ryuzaki's just not the type to say things directly. You should know that by now.
That's right.
No. Was testing you.
Ryuzaki.
I've always hated Ryuzaki. I hate him and his way of doing things.
Bye.
That's too bad, because I like you, Aizawa.
I also hate the way you've always got to have the last word.
Oh, you fragile little butterfly.
Thank you for everything.
Move on.
Recently, they all take place between Friday night and Saturday afternoon.
I'm amazed that you even noticed that,
You
Chief.
should notice stuff like that. You should be looking for any patterns you can find.
One from Yotsuba? Or is Kira simply using Yotsuba?
That's 300,000 people. How did he put this together so...
A lot of people. Is Yotsuba like a whole bunch of companies that all work under one conglomeration or something?
Oh, you really want to be useful?
Yes!
Then could you get me another cup of coffee? And for our guests over there as well.
Who the heck are they?
Who are they?
Are the newest members of the task force.
I'm a con man. How's it going?
I'm a con man.
And I'm a thief by trade.
There you go.
Man and a thief.
That's right.
Get people with experience in this kind of world.
Social skills allow him to befriend and gain the trust. We'll use him for infiltration.
Very valuable.
She's a thief who specializes in cracking high-end security. She was able to enter the building without setting off a single alarm.
Again, very valuable. Yes, exactly.
Never once been caught.
Police department work with criminals.
Like Kira. Think of
Don't
them
act
as
like you don't.
professionals of the underworld.
Tell me if you're planning to be home for dinner.
I quit my job.
You can eat my dinner and I'll have dessert instead.
They just gave me some time off.
Huh? Is a time off a vacation, Daddy?
Except this is time off without pay.
Maybe we can go to the zoo together. Or the amusement park.
Fragile, fragile little butterfly. Wow. Dude. To me, this is like you take these cultural expectations of masculinity and femininity and you bring them to their extreme, and it results in these men that are fragile. If it doesn't go how they think it should go for masculinity's sake, then they like break down. They can't deal with it. It's too terrible. Seriously, don't do this to your masses. Don't contribute to people being like this.
I don't know, I think either way he would be distraught.
He would be distraught, but like you're falling apart because of a decision you freely made.
Yeah, but there were no good choices.
Right.
So either way, he was gonna be losing something he didn't want to lose.
Right. I just feel like he's falling apart now because of it. And it doesn't need to be that way. Like, people can be more resilient. Instead, in this situation, they're brought up to be a certain narrow kind of way, and as soon as things start breaching outside that narrow field of what you feel is how it's supposed to be, you start falling apart. We as a world and society and various cultures need to be better than that. But anyway, I know there's a lot more to it, and what Talon is saying about either way being a terrible choice and being terrible and it would cause anybody to be distraught is true. I just think that over-gendered ways of culture being in certain areas, in certain times, in certain places, with certain communities, I think it creates a certain amount of fragility all in itself. Fragility that doesn't have to be that way. Like, you can teach people that it's okay to be outside of these realms of possibility. It's also okay for things to not go right, to be distraught, but it's also good to be able to like handle those awful things without completely falling apart and still find a path forward that works for you, your situation, your family, even when all the choices are not great. That's all I got for you this week. I will see you next week. Bye. Until next time, I'll see you when I see you. If you like this video, please click the like button. If you want more content, click subscribe. If you click that little bell and click all, then you'll get more content notifications.